It is befitting that I leave the game just like I came in, beating a big, bad monster who knocks out everybody and no one can whoop him. That's when that little Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky came up and stopped Sonny Liston, the man who annihilated Floyd Patterson twice. He was going to kill me.
Big shots out to ill position. Bless.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mackin'. Well, names are not important. I'm Mackin'. He's free. So while we be free, we've got to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart, which is societal double standards. Man, if you guys in the sphere of the world have not shown your face to be as clear as day, man, I can't begin to start. But here's where we'll start. So a few weeks ago, August Alsina was being interviewed by Angela Yee, and he began to expose that he had a sexual relationship with Jada Pinkett. Now, Jada Pinkett's team was categorically denying what August was saying, and as a result, it forced August to send out a flurry of tweets and photos that showed them together. But what was more eye-popping or ear-catching that people seemed to gather hold to of August Alsina was the fact that he said that he had Will Smith's blessing to have the relationship that he had with Jada Pinkett, which is weird, but it caused people to start dragging the Smiths' names through the mud, the gravel, and the fire. So as a result, they had a red table talk where they addressed the issue, and apparently we find a couple of things. One, they are incredibly embarrassed about what happened, but also more importantly, this was something that was 4 years ago that they've already dealt with as a couple. So they're saying, look, this is 4 years ago, we dealt with it. We're having to rehash it because you all are rehashing it. We don't want to, and we do. But what you saw what happened in the sphere of the people was this. You saw men judging Jada, and you saw women protecting Jada. And the men had a point in saying that, hey, look, if Jada Pinkett were a man, y'all would be all over him by what just happened. And what women were saying was, well, y'all are all over Will for taking it, but you don't know that they had a conversation in the background or not. And my position has been, hey, both of y'all are right. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know that there's a man that would not have been drugged through the mud if they were in a similar situation to what Jada Pinkett was in and how they would be characterized. So it's fair for men to make that argument, but also it's also fair to hear Jada Pinkett Smith, hear her out and see what she has to say about why she had the transgression. And where she lost me free is when she said it wasn't a transgression, it was a learning opportunity. Yeah, I don't think she gets to do that, but which side are you on? Do you think both sides are right, or do you think that the women are right or the men are right in this one?
Well, once again, I don't like getting into personal matters like that. I try to evolve but I think
we hate that, by the way.
Yeah,
we can't stand that.
But when it's in the public, it's all fair game. But
hold on. Before you go into that, I want to make sure that we stay on topic because it's not necessarily as much about them as this is about the double standard in society. Okay,
I got you. Don't do that again. Man. I want to show out on this show, man.
I want people to know.
But anyway, with society, I think the sad part about it is we get caught up in taking sides in this matter, and then we miss some of the things that we could learn from in the situation. This group, these two individuals chose to bring it publicly and talk about it to maybe show the world a different approach to dealing with situations like this. Now, we know it's different because they're in the limelight, they have money. But I think we've missed the opportunity to say, hey, these individuals had some serious drama.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're working through it. But we get caught in the sides because the women want to support their girl. The guys are like, nah, you can't do that. And I think we just miss the point. And I think in this, it shouldn't be about right or wrong from the social standpoint. I think it should be like, what can we learn from this instead of taking these sides?
That's very true.
And I think that's where we hurt, because we have two individuals that have made choices in how they choose to deal with their relationship in the past. Now they're atoning for choices. So I hope the public, and Roland Martin talked about this on his show, which I thought was very valuable, and actually had a therapist on and discussed that same thing. Like, let's not miss opportunities to learn, because it's value. Like, it could have been like we usually see. It usually is ugly. It's back and forth on social media. It's this, it's that. We get our stuff from TV. These individuals came to talk so you all, the public, could see it, hear it, and squash it. And then but it just caused divisiveness. And we see, when we look at the divorce rates in America and everything, we see why. Because individuals, we take sides instead of saying, hey, how can we be open about it and discuss it? So I want to say that I think both are wrong, both are right, because they made choices that they're dealing with.
But see, that's the thing is what we saw was, again, to me, it was the cleanest mirror of society that we could have seen, because it was a reflection of how people, what's that old saying? Don't throw rocks when you finish. Say it with me now. Live in glass houses. And what you saw was a lot of people in glass houses throwing stones. And it's like, hey man, like at the end of the day, what you saw was two people in pain and embarrassed. And people have been harping on the word that she decided to use, which is entanglement. And even Will got on there about using the word entanglement. But the reality of the reason why she used the word entanglement was she wanted to minimize as much embarrassment as she possibly could. And if you watch the body language of the two, they understood that they're in entertainment. This is how we earn money. We've got to pass this over one way or another. But at the end of the day, we don't want to be here explaining our mess to America. And I'm pretty sure that if they were attorneys, we wouldn't have seen them on Red Table Talk. They couldn't care less what you thought, because you don't affect their money. But Jada Pinkett Smith, in case people haven't realized, has the Red Table Talk that comes on Facebook, and that is responsible for some of their income. They may have other issues for which, if they continue to allow people to call them swingers openly, that could also hurt future earnings, and they didn't want to have that. So, this isn't going to be a stark comparison to anybody in regular life, because they don't have a regular life. And if you don't believe me, let somebody say something bad about you on Facebook. You have a better libel case than if they said the exact same thing about Will and Jada. Because being a celebrity means you give up certain privacies in public. And a lot of people do not understand that concept. You no longer they have tours in LA that goes to show you where these people live, because they've given up their right to privacy to entertain you. So there's not a clear, what's the best way for me to put it? There's not a clear and consistent comparison to you and them, other than they're human. So they had to come out and talk about this publicly. I mean, we've all seen Solange try to beat up Jay-Z, and no one's heard from Jay-Z, Solange, or Beyonce because they decided to keep it private. They don't have to tell you anything. So they allow you to speculate. But in this case, it was a little bit different how in terms of the reason why they had to come to the forefront. However, what's not very different from you is that they're still human. So at the end of the day, this is something that they had to address as people. And with that, they didn't even blame him for it. And I blame him. And again, I'm going to say this to every man who decided to come on and hoist August Alsina on their shoulder as if he won a championship. In what world can somebody come out and snitch like this, tell something so private, and then be hoisted as a hero? Like, where they do that at? And where did y'all get y'all manners from? Because last I heard, man, kissing and telling, like, that's a bro code violation to the nth degree. And he did that. So
true that.
Man, go ahead, Free.
Well, I don't put a lot past celebrities. It is Hollywood, because like I said, they still chose to come out here and do this publicly. When
I'm glad you said that, so we can get in that conversation. Go ahead.
It isn't August Alsina preparing for a new album or something?
Absolutely.
So let's be real with the timing of everything. This happened years ago. It just resurfaces at this time. I and not to say, but I don't really do coincidences. You know what I mean? I'm past that phase.
Yeah.
And I think everything has an intent, and I think when you're in a situation where the things that bring the most shock value and things that get people's attention work, and they can be spun into profit, or not saying they're out for that, but I'm just saying people take advantage of moments, especially in entertainment through this, because if my livelihood depends on this, I might have to do what I got to do to get the attention on me. Because now, if I'm August Alsina, people might buy my album hoping to hear me put secrets in my songs about Jada. But that's why I'm at with that.
Exactly. And here's the thing, though. So for people who are trying to identify with it, here's how you can identify. If you work at Lowe's Home Improvement and you are the side piece, you a 20-something-year-old side piece of a 50-year-old woman who works at Best Buy, and that's all in the same complex, and her husband works at Target, that's all in the same complex, and you the hottest rapper in your cul-de-sac, and you about to drop an album, then maybe you should tell it too. Maybe does that sound plausible? Probably not, because it's not. So my point in that is, you're not going to be able to fully understand why this is out into the world, but that's because they're from a different layer of our society, but they're still a reflection of it, because they call it Holly Weird. But just in case y'all hadn't been paying attention, man, like, regular society is weird too. And I'm gonna let us pick this up on the other side of the 30 minutes, because we air this on YouTube and we got hard stops at 15. So we're gonna pick this back up on the other side. Free Mac and Free.
Now if I'm losing you, tell me, then I double back. But keep in mind at the time, keep it real, what's the phrase?